Hello and welcome to the second part of orientation. My name is Douglas Hicks. I am the social studies instructor as well as the electives instructor. I teach some of the electives. Our goal today is to talk about how you're going to communicate with both your success coaches and your instructors. It's going to be very important that we establish a good mode of communication, and keep it not only frequent but also efficient. And we're going to talk about how we're going to be able to do that in this program. Again, as you can imagine, probably many of you come from schools where it's Google based, so you have a Google Drive. Many of you are probably familiar with Google Docs. That is the same way here. We're going to use Google Docs. You will get a username and password for a Google account through the ISD domain. We will discuss that today and how to get into those accounts. So again, just to run down what we plan on doing here today is I want to kind of show you how we communicate and submit work and ask questions, whether it be for quiz resets, clarification on practice assignments or journals, whatever you can imagine. We're going to talk about that. We're going to establish your Kent ISD emails, which are going to be Google based. Another thing we're going to do today is we're going to make a Google document. And in that Google document, I'm going to ask you folks to kind of tell us who you are, what you're into, what you aspire to be. And I think it's going to be important in those documents as well to kind of let us know what things we can do to help you succeed as a learner in this program. And we'll kind of discuss those things as well. And the last thing we're going to do is kind of show you how to submit assignments both through Gmail, which I think is the preferred mode, and Apex, the Apex message system. So let's transition here. So there's really three ways to communicate with your online instructors. You see two here, Gmail and Apex. That third is going to be through our Google numbers. All of us, both the success coaches and online instructors, have those Google numbers. Feel free to text those, call those, any questions you might have. But again, the most efficient way to communicate with any of us is going to be through our Kent ISD emails, which are, again, Google accounts. You'll see yours is going to be Gmail based. Ours are Outlook. But nonetheless, the reason it's the most efficient way at Gmail is because we're able to send you things like links, videos, slides. Again, it's going to give us the most resources and opportunities to kind of give you feedback and kind of help fill in any of your learning gaps or questions you might have. Gmail is going to be the best. Our Apex message system is unreliable in that when we reply to your messages, a lot of things don't come through correctly. And again, you're welcome to use it, but again, I think you're going to be better served using your Kent ISD accounts, which again are Google-based through Gmail. So that's going to be your best way to go. Another thing I want to talk about here is going to be how you communicate with your instructors and the importance of that. So let's talk about that. Okay, so it's going to be very, very important that you folks are specific about what you're asking for. I can't tell you how many times throughout the day I get emails from students essentially that say, "Hey, Mr. Hicks, hope all is well. I need a reset on that quiz." Now, there's a number of glaring issues in that communication there. The first thing is I need to know a course name. I've got a number of courses with a number of students. Be very specific. If you're emailing an English teacher, you can't just say you're in English 11. You've really got to tell us, is this English 11B or English 11A, so first semester or second semester? And if you don't pass a quiz, let us know it's the 3.3.2 quiz. And furthermore, it's going to be very, very important that you include things like a study guide, notes, something that demonstrates you went back through the material so we can kind of give you some feedback. And again, it helps us see where you may have gone wrong or what misconceptions you might have about the material. So again, you want to attach those things. And if you're asking for a bypass on a test, again, let us know. If you're in government, you're in Unit 2, let us know that and say, hey, I'd like to move to Unit 3. It's going to be very important, the moral story here, is to be specific about your request. That's going to be extremely, extremely important. What I'd like to do next is I'd like to talk to you folks about how to establish your Gmail accounts. What I want you to do now is I want you to open up a browser, a new one, and I would like you in the top part here to type in Google Drive. So take a moment, open up the Google Chrome browser and type in Google Drive. Click on Google Drive, and the first thing that you'll see here in the middle will be Go to Google Drive. So your username more than likely will be your first and last name, all lowercase, no spaces, at kentisd.net. So your domain will be .net. The teachers and success coaches domains are going to be .org, just a point you might want to note. But again, students' domains are going to be .net. So again, if you're Mike Smith, which is a very common name, it would be MikeSmith at kentisd.net. So I made an account here, and again, this isn't going to be Kent ISD based, but I'm going to show you folks what you would do. So my fake account, if you will, or quasi account here is MySchool J Appleseed. And I'm actually at a Google account here. And the password to get into your Kent ISD accounts, again, which are Google based, is going to be the same password that they gave you to log into the computers that you're using right now. So I'm going to put mine in. So if you could take a moment and put that in, that'd be fantastic. I'm going to give you guys a moment. Take your time. Once you're logged into these accounts, again, if you have a new account, it may look different than if you have an existing account. But again, once you get into these accounts, look on the top right for an icon here that's got 9 squares. What I want you to do is I want you to click on that. And move this here. Click more if you don't see it, but you're going to look for Google Docs. It should be right in this area here. I want you guys to open up a new Google Doc. So what you folks see here is going to differ depending on whether you have an account or you don't. So again, if this is a new account you're setting up, which is more than likely the case, in the top left here, you're going to see a plus sign to open up a new Google Doc. If you're an existing ISD student, whether you be at KCTC, KIH, what have you, maybe if you have an account, bottom right, you might see a plus symbol. I want you folks to open up a new Google Doc. And again, the goal here is going to be for us to take about 5 minutes and introduce ourselves to both success coaches and instructors. In this introduction, it would be fantastic if you could tell us, where you're from, where you're coming from, what grade you're in, what you hope to get out of this program, what you do for fun, if you have any pets, what your hobbies are, what you like on your pizza, what you do in your free time. So again, that's going to be important. I think one element of what we're doing here, and then another thing I think that's going to be tremendously important is to let us know what we can do to help you learn better, okay? Let us know, when do you learn the best? Are you going to be a morning person, a night person? What your schedule might look like? Do you have a job that you're planning around? What things can we do to help you out? What's important information? Is there some anxiety you might deal with that would be good to know? Are you looking, what are you looking to get out of this program? So this is going to really make this process efficient. So take about 5 minutes, and I would like you folks to type out a little kind of summary of what we just talked about. All right, hopefully everyone was able to have enough time here. Now we're going to remember these are live documents. You'll be able to edit these anytime. And again, these are what Google Docs is what you're going to use, hopefully, to take notes, send practices, journals, submit notes to teachers for quiz resets, or even just for them to review. So what's going to be important here, you'll look here, is in the top left where it says Untitled Document. You're going to want to change that. In this instance, you're just going to want to write like hello or introduction. But if it was like a study guide, you would write like the 3.2.4 study guide. If it's an assignment, you might write, the 3.4.5 journal. But again, you want to kind of label that heading. And you can see here, I kind of typed out a little, summary of myself. I'm from Wyoming, went to Wyoming High School, really into playing bingo, coupon in my spare time, really love a double mushroom pizza, yada, yada, yada. What's important here is, if a teacher or, an instructor and success coach is looking over these things, they're going to see, hey, I wrote in the bottom here that, hey, I'm not a very good writer, and I'd really like to improve that before I head off to college or wherever I might go. I might say, hey, I don't do well working for long periods of time. I've got to take breaks. Or occasionally I've got anxiety that kicks in, and, if you could just bear with me and help me out. Those are things that are going to be important for us to know to help make your learning process efficient. So what I want to do next here is kind of go over some important parts. So first thing we're going to do is show you how to share this thing and what kind of things you want to do. So in the top right, you're going to see the Share tab. If you click on that Share tab, it's going to be very, very important that in the bottom right, you click Advanced. So again, one more time, you go up to the Share tab, the little globe is, and then once that pops up, you should see Advanced. It's going to be very important you change this from private to public. So I've got it on public right now. A lot of people might ask, well, why can't you just use anyone with the link? So you'll see right here. The problem is we've got some domain or some filtering issues with our internet. The most efficient way we're going to have no barriers is if you make this public. So again, make that public and save it. So that's the first part. And again, I already told you up in the top left, you want to make sure you label this doc. Now, if you forget to make this public and you share it with us, which I'm going to show you how to do in a minute, that's okay. I want you to get in the habit of making this public, but again, instructors can send you an email back and ask you to make it public. But get in the habit of making this public. The next thing I'm going to go through here is to show you folks how to submit this or send this to both your instructors. We're going to send this message to all the instructors and the success coaches in one moment through your Gmail accounts, which I'm going to show you how to get to. And then we're going to wrap this up at the end here, and I'm going to show you how to use the Apex message system and send this message, albeit not an assignment, but a summary through the Apex message system. So take a moment here, and I'm going to just kind of transition.